Kamen Rider Wiki.
Hey YouTube, Kamen Rider here with my review of the Deluxe Evol Driver, the Evol Driver, however you want to pronounce it, the Evelyn Driver. I'm probably going to pronounce it a couple different ways. I think it's like officially the Evol Driver, but I tend to call it Evol just because I like the evil pun. But this is the driver used by Evolt in the show, the original like granddaddy driver that started all of the build systems, used by who was formerly Bloodstalk, and also is going to be used by Mad Rogue. At the time I'm recording this, Mad Rogue has not been introduced. But for what you get when you buy this spankin' new driver, spankin' just sounded weird when I said it then, but you get this driver here, the Evol Driver, which is, if you couldn't tell, is a repaint of the regular build driver, which we'll do a quick side-by-side comparison here in just a minute. And then you get the Cobra and Rider system special versions of the Evol bottles, Evelyn. Just to get this out of the way, because it's honestly probably the least important aspect of this review, you know that this comes with straps, right? We all know this comes with straps. If you are a skinny child or just a skinny human, you can wear this. This is the back piece that will snap them together. I've just taken the liberty of not placing them on there because it's easier to do, you know, review demo stuff with it. So, you know, if you're skinny enough to wear this or, you know, mod it, then those straps will work. They snap in here. They're really easy to dislodge. They have the little buttons on the side there. If you're familiar at all with rider belts, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to go over the bottles just real quick first, and then we'll do a quick side-by-side comparison of the original build driver and this one, and then I'll explain a little bit of how this review is going to work, not how about. Anyway, so this is the Cobra bottle. These bottles are honestly very similar to the main bottles. Like, you can shake them and you can hear it making noise. Hopefully, at least the camera's picking that up. But it does make noise, but they are a bit different. You know, you kind of have this more solid nature as opposed to, I'm going to bring in, I got over here, the tank bottle right here, which you can see is clear, but this has more of a solid nature. It's like the same core mold, but it's different because it's just a solid color. You kind of have this, I almost want to call it ruby red. It almost looks like pomegranate. I don't know. It's like a really weird color nature to it. But the point is, it's different. The main thing that's cool about it, which is something you're going to be seeing here, you can see this Cobra face design, which I can move back and forth. But this is going to move back and forth once I have it in the driver and I'm cranking it. That sounded weird. But that's actually really cool to me. I just think it's a really neat little detail that, like, you know, you notice when you're messing with the toy, obviously, but I first noticed it in the show, and I just think it's kind of neat. But like I said, you can hear stuff shaking, but it's not quite as prominent of a feature. These designs for the bottles are kind of overall okay for me. You can still do this bit here. Got the symbol there. You got this kind of Bloodstalk symbol there. Cobra there. But yeah, they're overall fine. They're not like, oh my god, I love these bottles so much, bottles. But it's just like, I appreciate that they're a little bit different. There's something not significantly, I don't know if that's too big of a word, but there is something different about them for this driver, but they still feel like they're part of the bottle system. And then this is the Rider system bottle, which is like your gateway access to kind of transforming everything, honestly, because like this one has Cobra, which accesses the default Rider system, but then you use this bottle here with the dragon and rabbit ones, and you gain access to the forms that basically have Build and Ryuga's or Cross Z Claw's, you know, helmets. And this one isn't much of a, like, this is clearly like a dragon head, or not dragon head, you know, snake head. I don't remember if I said dragon before, but I feel like I did. But Cobra, this looks like just like a one-eyed mechanic thing, but it's just like, oh, the build symbol, it's gray, looks very mechanical. They get the job done. I'm sure there's some people out there who these are their favorite bottle designs, but they're just kind of okay with me at the core of the design, but I do like the way that they end up working with the driver. But yeah, so this is a repaint of the original recipe driver. You can just see it right there, or side by side. I can't tell if I'm zoomed in or not. Let's take that for a spin. There we go. There we go. That's how we do it, gang. But yeah, there's really not a whole lot of remolding going on, almost at all. A little bit around here, but everything else is pretty much the same thing. You can see it. I'm kind of covering it up here a little bit here. Obviously, the color difference, the red, the blue, and the gold versus the black, kind of silver and red. I think the most significant thing for me is the way this looks. I really dig the way it kind of looks like an ancient gear, which kind of makes sense because this is like the original kind of quote-unquote ancient mysterious alien tech that Evolt's using, but it is the same mold. This isn't really unheard of. There's actually been quite a handful of drivers that are released around this time in the show's lifetime that are like a repaint, remold, whatever. Like, for example, most recently, Wizard and stuff like Drive, although Drive wasn't exclusive. Anyway, just real quick, so for this beginning of review, I'm just going to review literally what comes in the box, everything you get. I will explain most of what it does, you know, what you can do if you own more of the build items, and give my opinion, final verdict, all that fun stuff that you guys look forward to, I'm sure, all three of you. And then after that quote-unquote main review, I'll be doing more of the sort of, hey, look, here's what this does and this. I won't be doing a completely thorough, like, what does everything do in here? And like, oh, here's this bottle and this bottle, and what French toast do in it. But I'm going to be doing at least a rough estimation of most of the stuff you can get done in it. But again, I will be going over the explanation. But I wanted to get the core review done first. I'd appreciate feedback, letting me know what you think of it, because I've done different takes on this at times. Sometimes I've split the videos up between review and then demo, and this one I'm kind of doing it all in one go. Anyway, bored you long enough with this, so here's the driver. We already did the comparison. I'm very okay on the design. In general, like, I was very okay on the build driver design. I respect it for what it's trying to be. I do like the color schemes of it. Like I said, I really appreciate the sort of ancient gear look of this. I think it looks fine mostly for what it is. There's really not a whole lot of significant differences in the way I felt about the build driver. I like the little symbol there. Just, yeah, I'm very fine with it. Not a whole lot to go over. So turn it on, off right back here. Wait, it was already on. There we go. That happens to me a lot. So let's go ahead and just go for the first generic change, shall we? Alright, now let's do our attack noises. Alright, I'm just going to do it one more time just to highlight. You could probably see there, but these will chomp up and down, which is a really neat bit. And of course you get the lights and sounds there, like per usual, but I really appreciate that little bit there. I'm just going to do the same attack again. Okay. Ciao. We get the picture. I like the evil laugh, how it sounds almost more like a comedic, over-exaggerated evil laugh compared to like when Rogue uses the Splash Driver and it does that like blood-curdling scream. Okay, but so honestly, that's pretty much what you get if you're just buying this straight up and you don't have anything else. You know, you get these two. Those are the sounds it does, the henshin, the attack noise, all that fun stuff. But this does have quite a bit of compatibility with other stuff in the line. You can use any of the bottles in here. You can use the hazard trigger in here. Of course, you can use stuff like sparkling. You can use the Rabbit Tank bottle. You can use the dragon stuff. Anything you could use in the build driver will work with this. It's kind of up to you how much you like that. It honestly, for the most part, acts as more of an overlay. There is a couple unique sounds to it. For example, with hazard trigger and stuff, it'll say like fever and stuff. It's a little unique noise to this, but a lot of it is nothing too unique. Like, it's not, every single thing doesn't have something super unique and specific. Sometimes it's just kind of generic, or sometimes it's just as simple as literal back and forth between this and the device you're putting in. But basically, this is a build driver, just a different version. So anything you've been able to use in your build driver, if you've owned one or seen one been owned, which is a weird way of putting it, you can use in this. So like you can see, there's all the compatible ports there and stuff like that. In the little demo portion, I will be showing a lot of that. You know, I'll be showing Rabbit Tank, I'll be showing Hazard, all that fun stuff. But yeah, that's what you can do with it. Basically anything you can think of. The thing I will note here, even though I'm going to be showing it in the quote-unquote demo portion, is when you put in best matches, it's more or less the same sounds. It will read off the sounds and say, oh, yeah, this is a best match. Rabbit Tank, Gorillamon, Haka. But there's no like specific sound and jingle. It'll say this is the best match and then literally laugh at you. No joke. That's what happens. So I will only be demonstrating part of that, but that's worth noting. But yeah, I feel like I noted everything I wanted to note as far as the review portion. So, do I recommend this thing? It's a solid driver. If you like Evolt, if you like the sounds in it, it's just as good as the Build driver in a lot of ways. Same literal build, puns, you get it. Some cool bottles, you get lots of different sounds, lots of compatibility. If you already own stuff from the Build collection, you have lots of stuff to try out. If you're just now buying this, it gives you the opportunity to buy stuff from the Build line and try it out. But it doesn't offer, in a way, some of the same sounds as the Build driver because it doesn't have as many individual jingles, at least in my opinion. But it's a solid driver. I guess my point is that if you really want this and you're into this thing and, you're watching this review because you like Evolt or the driver and you're like, I don't know, do I want to pick it up? I think if you pick it up, you'll be happy. But if I had to recommend one or the other, I would go with the regular Build driver. Even though I do like the sounds on this, I think there's some unique fun stuff. I like the laughing, I like the voice. I just prefer the Build driver voices, and I think it's just got a little bit more to it, given some more uniqueness. But yeah, that's my recommendation for this review. But now let's go ahead and we'll get on to showing off some of the stuff it can do. Again, I'm not going to show every single little thing, but I'm just going to try to give you a mostly rounded experience with hopefully minimal talking. But to be honest, I'll probably still talk. Okay, first up here, let's go ahead and do the classic Rabbit Tank match from the regular bottles. So let's go ahead and show you what that happens with that. Now the attack noises real quick. Okay, and just to show you, I'm going to do one other best match at random. I'm not going to be going over all of them. If I get enough requests, I might do a video with all the best matches I can. But... Whoops, that was a total miss. No. As you can see there, basically the same attack noise, and you will get different voices for the, different matches, but it's not quite as much of a unique spin as the Build driver, at least in my opinion, but I think that's pretty accurate. Now to show you, the Cobra Bottle you get with this is basically in most ways identical to the original recipe Cobra Bottle, meaning that you can put the Cobra Bottle in here and get the same result as if you were to do it normally. So yeah, you can see, thanks for laughing at me, man. I was just trying to do my job. This thing just won't stop. But yeah, so you can sub the Cobra in for that. It has the same little notches on it. Now for a fun little match, I don't remember if I'm supposed to put one of these in first or not, but the Gear Brothers ones. Whoops, I keep messing it up there. Alright, just for fun. Why not? We're here. I'm not ready. Stop. Alright, so now, here's kind of a fun one. We got our sparkling bottle, so let's crack this open. Nice cold one. Alright, just for fun. Again, we're here. Okay, now let's take a look. Oh, didn't mean for that to happen. At Dragon. Alright, now on to my personal least favorite, a bit of the hazard trigger rabbit tank action. I'm just going to do very minimal on this because this one always frustrates me and I always kind of mess it up. But you definitely can work with this. There's all kinds of little variations you can do on it depending on how you want to use it. But I'm just going to do literally I'm going to do Barry Allen. You know how it is in these reviews. Just Barry Allen, the Barry Allen ways how to do it. Mess up the timeline. No, I'm going to do the base functionality. So... Okay, that was definitely a little bit off, but I mainly wanted you to hear the Hazard Fever part, which I hope you heard, which is one of the quote-unquote new sounds that this, you know, gives you access to, so I wanted to show that off. Then you can do stuff like this. And then you can do like max hazard. That will ideally be done a little bit different, but... It's supposed to be the transformation, obviously. So like you get the idea. Again, I always just kind of botch this bit, but this is fully compatible with it, so you can mess around with it and do it in however way you want, whether it's the accurate way or the Dawsome way. Okay, now we're at the point of the review where I show what it does in other devices. So, Splash Driver. So you get it. Of course, you probably want to see what it does in the regular build driver, so let's go ahead and go for that. And then the attack noise. Okay, now the trans steam gun. As I said, this will substitute for Cobra. So you get the same effect basically as Cobra. Regular Cobra, that is. Alright, now we'll head into Rider System. Head into Rider System, there we go. Just the standard noise. Okay, now the Nebula version. Alright, now Rider System 1. Okay, now we're gonna do the Magma Knuckle. Okay guys, that's about it for this review. Again, I didn't do every single little possible thing you could do for this review. Definitely missed out on a couple things, but the main idea was to give you a general, well, idea. Allow myself to introduce myself. You know, the general idea of what this can do, that even though it doesn't have quite as many unique sounds as you might think in certain cases, it is definitely compatible with everything else in the build line. So no matter what you own or plan on owning, you can definitely work with this thing, which is a great thing, and that's what I wanted to show. So I apologize if everything wasn't as robust. If you'd like to see possibly a more complete video with all the stuff that I own, let me know, and I might do that sometime in the near future, showing off all the combos and stuff. But just know, I tried my best to give you the general idea, and I hope you're okay with that. Anyway, until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It's Awesome Rider, signing out.